Well, hello there. Welcome to my first ever booktube video. Who knows if I'm going to keep this up after this video, but quarantine makes you do silly stuff, so let's get started. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking to you about my TBR for The Reading Rush. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's like the most popular readathon on YouTube, booktube, the world, probably, maybe, who knows. So there are 7 prompts this year. I've actually never done the Reading Rush or really any readathon, but I've gotten back into reading recently. My relationship with reading, like many, is like, or, did that make sense? Fucking nobody knows. Anyway, I have them written right here, and let's just get this started, shall we? So, book number 1 is read a book matching the color of your birthstone. And I am born in October, Libra, not a Scorpio, and my birthstone is an opal, or the pink one that I never remember the name of, but I think is way inferior to opal, so we're gonna go with opal. So this is kind of a weird one because opal is kind of like a whitish but like very spacey looking. I keep not looking at the camera, it's probably bad. Opal is a very spacey looking, multicolor, shiny situation. So for this one, I don't actually have the book yet. It's on its way, hopefully. I've chosen An Unkindness of Ghosts. I don't know where I've put the image. An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon, who I just recently read my first book by them. I listened to the audiobook for The Deep, and it was incredible. Like, wow. Obviously, like most people, I've been trying to read more books by Black authors in specific, and this isn't something that I'm going to be doing only right now while it's trending. I want to do it more for the rest of my life. Not just Black authors as well, but books from many, many people who are not white. And I always had thought, this is a tangent, I'm going on a tangent now. I'd always thought that I'd read somewhat diversely, but then I looked at my bookshelf and I'm like, girl, you have like 3 non-white authors on there, and that's bad. Fix that. Tangent to the tangent, I recently reflected back on my required reading for school, and I had like a list that I had kept of all the books that I had to read in high school, and of all 30 of them, guess how many were written by non-white authors? 0. They were all 30 out of 30 of the books were written by pasty white dead dudes. Like, I don't even think a single one of them was written by a female. I could double check that and make a whole nother video about how fucked up the education system in Southern California apparently. But anyway, it's not what we're here to talk about. We're talking about what books I'm reading this week. So yeah, An Unkindness of Ghosts. It is by River Solomon, who is, from what I know of reading The Deep, fucking incredible author. It's set in a spacey ship, that's what they call them, a spaceship situation. I don't quite know. It's kind of giving me Illuminae vibes, but I'm sure it's different and also has race issues and such like that. Anyway, I don't know too much about the book. I've heard that it has incredible representation for many different groups. And let's move on. I've been talking about the first book for way too long. Alrighty-o. The second book is to read a book that starts with the word the. And for this one, I'm going to combine it with read the first book you touch, which is the 4th prompt. So let me grab those bookaroos. I have chosen 4 books randomly off of my bookshelf. These are all classics, except for this one might not be. One second. I'm not sure. No, this is not a classic, but these three are classics, and then this one is a modern poetry collection. My boyfriend is a English literature major and only reads classics, and I am a normal person and I read mostly not classics. I've been trying to read more classics and such. So anyway, I picked 4 books off of his shelf that start with the word the. The first is The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. I recently this year read, what was it fucking called? Ethan Ethan something by Edith Wharton, and I really fucking loved it. It was really good. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because, I don't know, I think I had an issue with, not really an issue, but it was very good. I loved the ambiance. I loved the atmosphere that she created, like this cold, brutal winter in this town and this illicit-ish love between this guy and his maid. I don't know, it was a little while ago. I really enjoyed it and I loved her writing, so I am down as heck to read this one. And the other 2 that are classics, I grabbed The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Classic science fiction, you know her. I actually don't. Is this the one that's like, isn't there aliens? Alien invasion? Yes, alien invasion. Written in 1898. I read, what is it called? The other one by him. The Time Machine. Yes, I read The Time Machine by H.G. Wells earlier this year. No, that's a fucking lie. I read The Time Machine early last year, like well over a year ago, when I first started dating my boyfriend and wanted to impress him by reading a book that he recommended me. True stories. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, The Time Machine. It was good as heck. Anyway, the last one is The Awakening by Kate Chopin, which I've never heard of. I just was skimming for short classics that start with the word the on our shelf. And it seems to be about a woman it was published in 1899, and it's written by a woman who is unhappy as hell in her marriage, like I'd assume most women were, and how she seeks to find passionate physical love outside of the straitened confines of her domestic situation, which was some spicy controversy at the time, I'm assuming. Anyway, this was by Kate Chopin. Never read her before, never heard of her before. But I prefer classics written by women. I say that, but I've also never read any of the, like, what are they called? Austen? Jane Austen? Is that the author or the book? I think it's the author. Never read any of Jane Eyre. That's a book. Oh god. We're moving on. Anyway, okay, so the last book I have for this the category, you'll see where I'm going with having all these options, is The Sobbing School. This is a modern poetry collection by Joshua Bennett, and it deals with race, and I believe Joshua Bennett is a black author. I'm just gonna read this. Okay, Joshua Bennett's debut collection of poetry presents songs of the living and the dead that destabilize and defamiliarize representations of black history and contemporary black experience. What animates these poems is a desire to assert life and inferiority where there is said to be none. Oh, sorry, interiority, not inferiority. I don't know what that means in this context. Figures as divergent as Bobby Brown, Martin Heidegger and the 19th century performance artist Henry Box Brown, as well as Bennett's own family and childhood best friends, appear and are placed in conversation in order to show that there is always a world beyond what we are socialized to see value in, always alternative ways of thinking about relation that explodes easy binaries. This sounds good as fuck. I don't read a lot of poetry. The most poetry I would say I've read, at least recently, would be like The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, who I fucking stan. I've read all 3 of her books so far. I recommend them. They were all 5 out of 5 stars. Anyway, God, I'm such a tangenter. I kinda just want to read this one, but I have all 4 of these because because I'm going to combine it with the 4th challenge, which is to read the first book you touch. No, I'm going to do this randomly. How am I going to do this? I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to close my eyes and shuffle these right up. Oh god. How should I do this? Oh, well, the solving school's on top. Oh god. My stomach just growled, I'm hungry. Get it together! I'm going to now drop them on the floor and touch one with my foot. That's how we're gonna do it. Oh, that doesn't feel like the one I wanted. Oh, that's fine. Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. Cool. This one is the longest of them, but it's not that long. It's only 200 something pages. You know what? Who knows? Maybe I'll just read The Solving School. Anyway. You can't stop me. Now. Christ. Alright, and back to the 3rd prompt is to read a book that inspired a movie that you've already seen. So this one, I racked my goddamn brain over. I don't watch a lot of movies, and all of the ones that I know are based on books are based on books that I've already read, like The Martian or The Princess Bride. So I racked my goddamn brain, and then I found the perfect book. Let me grab it. Blue is the Warmest Color by Julie Marot. All the queer girls know is there's a movie on Netflix that's 3 hours long and awful as shit. But girl, my queer teen self watched that movie in like 3 parts while my parents weren't home. I just distinctly remember that when they finally kissed, they had like a cute little kiss in the picnic yard something, and then it just bam cut to them naked and making out at home. And I'm like, girl, where's like you have all this build up and there's no like does that make any sense? Am I recording? Oh, yeah, I am. Oh, damn it. The camera angle might be a little fuck because I just touched it. It's a bad movie. Didn't like it. It was directed by a man and we just don't stand the movie. But anyway, the book is not directed by a man. Whatever. I don't know shit, but we're gonna read this. So it also does. It takes place in France. It's by a French author. The movie is French as well. It better be taking place in France. Yeah, there's like French words all over the back of this. Yep. Okay, definitely takes place in France. So, challenge number 7 is to read a book that takes place on a different continent. So this one also checks the box. However, I guess we're going to be talking about challenge number 7 right now. If possible, I would love to read Homegoing by, I'm going to butcher this, Yaa Gyasi. It is about two sisters in 18th century Ghana, and they go off and live very different lives, and I've heard nothing but greatness, except for maybe from Kayla from Books and Lala, but that's just because she doesn't like historical fiction. Ooh, look at this like little inside flap. Ooh, very nice. We love. God, I'm hungry. Probably should have eaten breakfast before I went on this adventure. Oh, sorry, planties. I put all of my houseplants behind me and removed my keyboard and shit for the aesthetic. Good lord, let's continue. So I would love to read this book, but if I don't get to it, Blues the Warmest Color is set in Europe, and I'm set in California. Okay, on to... Okay, so number 5 is to read a book completely not in your house, and that's doable for me. I'll probably take the shortest one and just chill out in my courtyard. It kind of smells like dog shit a little bit, but it's still like a nice chill place to read. I grab like a little blanket and a pillow and a cocktail and have at it. The last one, which is number 6, because I've been funky bump bump, is to read a genre that scares you, / you haven't read that much of, / you want to read more of, / won't ever. For this one, I am going to read Upright Women Wanted, which I don't have a physical copy of. I have an ebook because it was like $2. Which is cool because I think that the physical copy was like $30, and I'm like, girl, this book's only that big. So this is supposed to be like a Western, which I will 100% say I've never read a Western. Although it's not really a Western because it takes place in like a future West. And it has lesbian booksellers, lesbian librarians, and it's like, fight the system. Yeehaw! I'm here for lesbian cowgirls. I don't know if they're cowgirls, but I'm sure that there's horses and shit. So, okay, let's get it all stacked up. Well, I guess I don't have too many God's books. We have The Age of Innocence, which starts with the word the, and was the first book that I touched. We have Homegoing, which is only slightly, this is my like, if I have time, I really want to read book. It's not super long, but not, it's 300 pages. It depends on the density. I have a feeling this is going to be pretty dense because Ethan Frome was like a skinny bitch and kind of took me a while to read. Blue is the Warmest Color. I have seen the movie, have not read the comic. I've had it for years. I don't know why I haven't read it. It's also set in France. This is set in Ghana. Continent not yo own. And then the 2 books that I don't have to hold in my grippers will be An Unkindness of Ghosts, which I think it has an opalescent cover, and Upright Women Wanted, which is a sci-fi western, which I have never read. And I need to make breakfast. Okay, anyway. So here we go. We got these, plus the 2 that I don't have. Honestly, I might read The Sobbing School instead of Age of Innocence because I want to. But we'll cross that bridge when I cross it. I think this is going to be a cringe fest to edit and watch over. I'm going to make breakfast. I have no idea if I'm going to continue doing videos like this, if it is good, if it is bad, if it is gad, good and bad. Previously on this channel I have tried to do some art videos, and then I got in a multi-year long art slump and haven't drawn anything in a million years. So that kind of died. But peace out, mother heckers. I think I need to slouch less. I think I need to sit up tall. What am I fucking saying?